Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. The morning after, the strike before. To my right is Jay, you know who he is, as I eat half a sandwich. And we're here to talk about that shit yesterday. Jay, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm a little bit worse for wear after a big day on the beers.
Yeah.
And then being treated or not so treated to absolute shambles. So, yeah, I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Deflated. One step forward, two steps back. We don't know where we are really with this club at the minute. I'm going to be honest. I don't know where we are. I don't know where we're going. I don't see the progression. I see a performance against Newcastle that looks like a fluke now. And yesterday's game, I understand people some coming out on Twitter saying, "Oh, there was some positives. Like we tried to get back in the game. Have a day off, will you? Have a fucking day off." Yeah, because for me, this is where I can really unload. Some of them players ain't worth a time of day, and the manager, he's up in the stands, and is someone telling me he can't see what the problems are from the stands, where he's higher up, he can see everything around him. Like if you're on ground level, it's a bit different, but if you're up in the stands, you can see a bit of what's really going on.
Yeah.
But Jay, I'm gonna let you land, mate, because you was there yesterday.
Yeah, I was there. Was actually so word to Ironworks Alliance for organising the fan display in the Bobby Muller beforehand. It actually led to a really good atmosphere for the start of the game. Really good in relative terms. I know that it's never going to be good, but in relative terms, it actually, the place felt good. It felt like, we were going to come out and try and give them a game. And within 10 minutes, we were already behind. And I've been trying to kind of think of this, and I've had a night to sleep off the booze and actually reflect on what I actually thought about the performance. And we talked before the game about pick a game plan, go with it 110%, and what happens. There was no game plan. It's the only thing. And obviously, we lost to a very, very good Arsenal side. Arsenal are a sensational team. I was blown away by some of their passing yesterday. They're so fluid. They've always got a free man. They're a very, very good side. But the problem is, we seem to have one setup and we go, regardless of who we're playing against, we've got no idea how to stop them. Bukayo Saka on that right-hand side was just tormenting us. Every time he got the ball, he looked so dangerous. And we talked about if we were going to play that starting lineup, we had to press a bit more. We had to be energetic. We had to be positive when we're out of the ball and with the ball. And it just, the same old problems kind of reared their ugly head, didn't they? I've got no problem losing a game to Arsenal. I don't want to lose to Arsenal, but they're a very good side. The result, the actual scoreline is very, very hard to stomach. But the flat performance is the bit that really irks me and really, really frustrates me. So just defensively a shambles once again. I don't know what was, every single goal feels like it was avoidable. Granted, there was a couple of really good passing moves for two of their goals, but at the same time, we were just statues. We were just dead still the whole time, and we had no concept of how to actually deal with them man for man. Individual errors all over the place. 2 penalties, Kilman's mistake for one of the goals. Set piece, they're set piece kings. You would think you just study what they do for set pieces and deal with it, and we just couldn't. So just problems all over the shop defensively, mate. So many problems. And the nature of the two teams is epitomized by the fact Arsenal's are renowned for the dark arts. They're a horrible, horrible team to play against. They really are. Gabriel got it's a penalty. That the second penalty is a penalty, but at the same time, he gets slightly touched and he goes down and buys a penalty. For the first goal, Paqueta gets shoved, and instead of going down when he's not going to get near the ball and potentially winning a free kick, he just flails around and doesn't look like he really cares, and we concede the goal. It's little details like that we're not good at. So I can't tell you, again, we're back to going, I can't actually tell you what we are good at, is the frustrating thing. We're in December now, and I can't tell you what we're good at. It's really, really concerning, to say the least.
It is, mate. I'm going to be honest. For me, being 4-0 down after 30 minutes is totally unacceptable at this club. I don't give a fuck. And I do mean this quite openly, right? To all them cunts out there, and I'm going to say it, to all them cunts and say, oh, you know what? We fought back. We should not be 4-0 down at home in a packed crowd with 65,000 plus. Yeah, I don't give a fuck how good Arsenal are. Yeah, I really don't. There has to be a element of standard. Yeah, and it seems like people's standards are slipping. Yeah, for how shit people thought David Moyes was, he had a standard at West Ham to get us into the top 10 and be at least competitive. We are a jackanite side. We are going nowhere. I don't see no progression. I don't see what Lopetegui's future is. I don't see how you're 5-2 down and you bring on Andy fucking Irving and Guido Rodriguez and you got Scholes and Luis Guilherme on the bench. I don't get that one. Like, if someone could explain that to me, right, what they're saying, I'd fucking hear it, but I can't hear that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? It's unacceptable. Listen, the game was done after the first 4 goals winning. The game was done after the first 3 goals winning. Then it was a case of painful sort of scenario. Now, for me, and I'm going to be honest, our goals are good goals, don't get me wrong. But that could have been a massacre in there. It could have been the same thing like it was last season. Or I'll tell you a lie, this year, in fact. Yeah? Because let's have it right, this happened 7 months ago. Do you know what I mean, Jay? I don't know what more I can say. Yeah, we've got, and people keep saying about the manager. You need to get the fucking owner out the club. The owner's the one, yeah. And I'm going to try and put this into bold terms. I couldn't really say a lot last night because I was in a boozer. Everyone had a beer, and I had a load of Arsenal fans there who were giving it to me literally all throughout the game, right? So I can take some shit, yeah. But the owner is the problem. The owner accepts mediocre. Yeah, it doesn't accept quality, right? With us, we expect quality, yeah? And in our fan base currently right now, you've got people that are sort of happy that Moyes is gone, yeah? And then you've got some people that are going, well, Moyes is gone, that's fine, but you've got to have a standard now. The standard's got to be set at this bar. And if it ain't below that, we have been piped, Jay, by City, yeah? And it could have been more than 3-1. Chelsea was an absolute shambles. Tottenham away, don't even get me started. Arsenal in this one, yeah. I know they're good sides, but I thought we was a good side. Like, what have we all of a sudden become shit? All of a sudden, like, we got some good players in our ranks, and is it the players' fault? On yesterday's performance, I'm going to be honest. Arsenal out of possession, yeah. No, tell you, Arsenal in possession knew what they was doing. 3 at the back, they pushed their fullbacks wider to stretch the play, yeah, and that's why Saka had all the fucking joy of Stratford and to do what he likes. Do you know what I mean? One thing I will say, this is where me and you disagreed the other day. Alvarez should have started. He would have got into them. He would have roughed them up. He would have basically had a presence in that middle of the park. We had nothing in the middle of the park at the end of the day, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I had no issue with the concept of Alvarez starting if we were going to sit in a low block, which we ended up doing with the wrong lineup for it.
Yeah.
The fact that we've played that lineup, I thought, fine, more energy, more running. Let's not give them time on the ball. Mate, they had the running of London Stadium yesterday. They just had someone in space constantly. And it's like, again, and the issue is, like, we're talking about fine details here, right? If Soler doesn't start and Alvarez does, then you don't get that brilliant pass for Aaron Wan-Bissaka's goal. So there is a trade-off. But then are you actually 4-0 down at the time in the first place? Maybe you're not. I honestly don't know. And we could sit and pore over those like fine details about the starting lineup and stuff. It was just a crap performance. So I think regardless of the starting lineup, we were just not set up to do anything against Arsenal. We were set up going, Jesus Christ, don't get slapped, lads. And let's see if we can manage to sneak something. As opposed to, this is our way we're going to deal with Arsenal. This is the phase of the game. We knew that they were going to come out the blocks really quickly. You had a choice. You either, as you said, play Alvarez, sit back, and then hope that it's 0-0 at half-time and then change, or then change in the second half. Or you come out with the lineup that we've got and you actually try and press them. You actually don't give them time on the ball. You actually trust yourselves to win the one-on-one battles. But we didn't win a single one-on-one battle the whole game. and we didn't have the right personnel on the pitch to play a low block. So we were just kind of stuck in between styles with the wrong lineup and with a lackluster performance. It was the perfect storm for Arsenal to just come and walk the park again. We've held 11 goals to them in 2 games at home. 11 goals. And as you said, in the space of like 7 months. That's just so far from acceptable. And like I say, it's not even about the lineups anymore. It's about the character of that team. There's just no character. There's no personality. There's no desire. And like to your point, the substitutions, I sat there tearing my hair out.
Yeah,
when the substitutions happened. Like if you were gonna make those substitutions, I'd have understood if it was at half time and you had gone, right, we're going to change things tactically. We're going to do this. Yeah. But in a phase of the game where we were actually starting to get the ball a bit, the game was starting to spread a little bit. You needed those 2 players on the pitch because they were the 2 that were going to pick a pass. They were the 2 that were going to get forwards. I would have respected him more if he'd have made a big call and brought Guillaume on for Bowen or done something different and gone, we need attacking players on the pitch, not bring off your 2 creative midfielders for 2 holding midfielders. Doesn't make sense. It's so negative. So I just can't get my head around it, mate. I just cannot get my head around it. It's so frustrating.
Lucas P, shout out to you, mate. Jay's a great panelist for the channel, as is Lucas. I'm going to be honest, I felt sorry for Lucas last night. I was sitting in the pub, we had other people on, and he, first time ever, I've done the YouTube game with Lucas, and it felt like a man who just couldn't be bothered. And when it's like that, it's very, very hard. Like even me now, I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I think, fucking hell, that's just a shame. Last night, there has to be an element of standard, yeah? And this is what I keep saying, funny enough. I keep saying that I don't mind losing games of football, because it's going to happen, but there's ways of losing. And I felt so sorry for all them fans that walked out of that ground after when that 4th goal went in. It was like another mini evacuation of the LS. Yeah, fair enough. We scored 2 goals. We've got ourselves back into it. And the 5th goal, I know you say it's a pen, but I haven't seen any of them given for a long time. Do you know what I'm saying?
I remember we got one at that end in the Europa League or Conference League a couple of years ago, Cornet, but he got cleaned out by that goalkeeper. But I do agree with you. Like I look at it, I tried to look at it factually, and I'm like, letter of the law, it's a penalty. Like he does make contact with a player. The ball's going nowhere near the goal, and he rolls around like he's been fucking sniped. Is the problem, and he buys that penalty from rolling around like he's been killed. So but that's the difference in it. Again, so ball comes in, and being in the ground yesterday, I don't know how anyone else felt. I wasn't expecting us to come back from 4-2, but 2 goals in quick succession. And I'm sitting there going, hang on, the fans are starting to believe now. The fans have got something to get excited about. Getting at half time, I can't believe I'm saying this, but only 4-2 down. And it's probably a different feeling when they come out in the second half. Completely but again, another individual mistake from the goalkeeper this time, where if he's going to get to that ball, get to the ball. Don't you cannot get beaten to the ball by the centre back, because that's always going to happen. And again, it just sucked the life out of the stadium yesterday. So it was more, like you say, it was more frustrating the manner of which we lost and the lack of fight. And like I say, the individual mistakes, you hit the nail on the head. The standard that Moyes would have set, we didn't see many individual mistakes. Like we just didn't see it. They were disciplined, they were well drilled. It weren't pretty to watch a lot of the time, but you didn't see a lot of individual errors. Which is the difference between these guys. They've got no discipline. They don't look well drilled whatsoever. They look like they've never played together. Honestly, that could have been 11 professional footballers that have never played a game.
I completely agree with you on that, 100%. And that's not the first time that's happened this year. But what happened yesterday is exactly what should have happened against Manchester United when they was peppering our goal. And if they would have scored the goals then, it's a completely different scenario, right? The 5th goal is a killer, because I'm going to be straight. I was in the pub yesterday when that 2nd goal went in for us. Their arseholes was falling out in the pub. They was concerned. They was thinking, oh, fuck, here we go. Right, now we're starting to fall apart. If we get the 3rd one, it's a completely different game. And then we're right in the game then. To go and concede the goal, not only the way it was, because I do think it's a bit... I'm not buying that one. Right, I think he's bought the foul rather than being like contact. He hasn't been he wasn't knocked out on the floor. He was just rolling around making out, and he gets up and he just carries on. But the 5th goal kills us. It kills the momentum, and then we're thinking, "Fuck me, we've got to score 3." again. Do you know what I mean? So it's just the problem is, Jay, is the way we're starting against these big sides. Now we've got Liverpool coming up. That's another instant 3 goals. We've conceded 3 against Man City, 3 against Chelsea, 3 against Arsenal, 4 against Tottenham. This is not me making this up. I'm fucking this is factual. This is exactly what's been happening. And I agree with you, mate. I don't know what we're good at. And that's frightening. With a new manager, you can sort of see what we're good at. Yeah. Well, if someone in the chat right now can name me 3 things West Ham are good at, yeah, I'd love to hear it, because I'm really struggling, if I'm being honest. Do you know what I'm saying? Our build-up play is slow. Yeah, we've got 2 ball-playing centre halves, which is that a problem? What did you make of the centre halves? Because I thought Kilman had one of his worst games in the West Ham shirt yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he had a stinker. But again, the personnel wasn't right for the way the game was going. He had no protection in front of him whatsoever. Him and Todibo were absolutely sold out. And Saka cutting in, you need a midfielder to tuck in and help Emerson when Saka cuts in. But he bent one run, played a 1-2 with Odegaard, and he was in. And none of our defenders had any idea how to do it. That's the first thing on the scouting report for Bukayo Saka. If he bops it and he goes, he's cutting inside and then he's bending his run and he's gone. That's all they look for it all the time.
Completely
and
agree.
Teams know somebody's got to go. But they all stood there. And again, then you've got 2, they were queuing up at the back post for that goal. And that again, so I can look at this 2 ways. It is great football from Arsenal, but we just let them do it. It's like we had no idea that they were going to do that. It's like our lads, as I said, it's like they had never played together before. And that's the most basic thing that Arsenal are going to try. So the issue I have, again, I agree, Kilman had a stinker. Todibo wasn't very good. I could name pretty much every single West Ham player and say they either had a stinker or they weren't good. But again, we didn't play the style that the lineup indicated we were going to play. We sat back, we were passive. We let Arsenal play the ball, and we had the wrong 3 midfielders in front of the centre backs. If we were going to do that, I agree with you. We should have started Alvarez, but with that midfield, we should have been closing the space, and we shouldn't have been allowing them to do that. And we should have been man marking Bukayo Saka. And then it becomes a completely different game. I would have backed Somerville to have tracked Kiwior as well, and deal with him. And that way, you've actually got a chance. If that gets cut apart, at least you've given it a go, and you've gone, this is how we're going to try and deal with the Arsenal threat. But we didn't. We just put blokes in there. We went with don't change your winning team, but we also went with but we're going to play a different style. The 2 aren't the same. The 2 are not the same. You have to, if you're not going to change your winning team, you still have to play the right style for those 11 players, and we didn't do that.
Can I ask you something, Jay? In the last 2 games, what have you learned from West Ham? And I'm going to put this to the chat also, because let's have it right. He had 2 games to save his job. He wins at Newcastle. Everyone thinks we're back in action. I was happy to celebrate a win, as everyone knows currently right now. And yesterday we get thumped, and not just thumped. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the 2 goals. Even though Emerson's goal was a great goal, and the Wan-Bissaka goal was a great bit of build-up play, it means fuck all. If I'm being honest, what does it mean really now? Do you know what I'm saying? Because we was never in the game in the first place in order to celebrate them goals fully, to a point. So what you're saying, what you learned?
I think I've learned that and again, it's very easy to be quite reactionary, because this game was so we were so poor, and it feels like in the moment all of the good work at Newcastle was undone. So it's very easy to look at this and go, we're back to square one. I don't think we're back to square one. If we try and look at any kind of positives, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be toxically go, oh yeah, this is still great and this is what was brilliant. We scored twice against Arsenal. Not many teams do score twice against Arsenal. And the difficulty for me is as a match going fan, at 4-2, we get in at 4-2. And me as someone who goes out of my way to go to games every week, I come back to my seat at halftime at 4-2 with us having scored the last 2 goals. And I go, we're going to have a go at them in the second half. And it just feels different around the stadium. So that's the thing that hurts me, is we were kind of robbed as fans of that moment where we could actually believe that we could do something against the odds, which is what being a West Ham fan is, right? We're not the best team in the world. We're never going to win the Premier League, but we want to believe that against the odds, we've got the fight and the determination to try and make something happy. And it felt like on Monday, we demonstrated that. It felt like we demonstrated that we've got the fight, we've got the discipline, we've got a little bit of tactical nous about us to play in a different setup and cause a team problems. So I think we have learned that we're capable of that, but we've also learned that we still have no way of dealing with good attacking sides. I think we've learned about our defence, the area which we strengthened the most in the summer. We got 3 new signings at centre back. We spent net about £100 million on that back four, and we still concede 4s, 5s. Like could have been 6s or 7s yesterday. So we have learned that we're learning more and more that the tactical setup and the midfield personnel does not help the defense whatsoever. And something has to give and something has to change very quickly. I think we will learn more from the Leicester game. I think this is crunch time now, isn't it? Because you look at it, we've been talking about this period of games that was coming up for a long time. And we've eyed this up and gone, Leicester, Wolves, Bournemouth consecutively. That's the first run of games you'd look at and go, realistically, we have a chance of winning all 3 of those games. And now it becomes crucially important that he goes and wins at Leicester. If he doesn't win at Leicester, I think we learn a lot from whether he's actually got what it takes to turn this season around for West Ham. I know a lot of people are saying that he should go immediately. I hear you. I still think trying to judge the bloke, like you look at these 2 games in a week, you get an unexpected win against Newcastle, you get an expected defeat against Arsenal. I don't think that's enough to say, let's get rid of him. But I think Leicester, if he doesn't win against Leicester, I'll hear you even louder. Like I can't really put up much of a case for the bloke, to be honest. I just think it's a bit harsh. The nature of the defeat makes it easy for us to sit and go, yeah, he's got to go. But I think it's a bit harsh after losing to Arsenal to say that should be the final straw, personally.
The only thing I will say to that is that what have we seen in 12 games to warrant him staying? Yeah, because the way I look at this, Jay, is that where's it going with this geezer? We're going 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We've not even been great against the lesser sides to a point. Like, let's be real. Like, the teams that we should be looking to try and overpower and control, we haven't really. Do you know what I mean? Ipswich Town, okay, yeah, that was a good win. Everton, we was poor. Like, Brentford, we was poor. Fulham, we was poor. Like, this is not. I'm not seeing anything from this geezer. Like, the Newcastle game was a good result, but like I said on the afterthought, and a lot of people did say it on all different YouTube channels, don't get too carried away. Don't get too carried away, because we've seen this before, right? It seems like every time a job, right, he's doing to save someone's job, West Ham do the job. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I don't get it. I just don't. What I don't understand, for me, Jay, is I don't understand like what we're trying to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's quite frightening. Like, we've held so many goals this year, like so many goals, and we've been lucky in so many games this year. Like the luck side of it has to come into account right now, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's painful.
Yeah. Hence, I think if we go to Leicester and then play Wolves and we give the same kind of performance we did against Newcastle, at least we're then starting to see signs of progress. I said that Newcastle on Monday was the first time that I'd seen any signs that he's got the capability to manage this West Ham team. Again, we are back to, this is the classic West Ham performance against one of the higher aspirating teams that are challenging for trophies, challenging for the Premier League, etc. We just haven't put up a fight against a single one of them. Chelsea rolled, as you mentioned, I won't go through them all individually, but you mentioned the names of the teams that have turned us over this year. There's so many of them. If we can start dominating games against those lesser teams, then again we can start seeing the signs, and I can maybe like get behind Lopetegui and I can say, right, well, this is what he's improved. But at the moment, we've got a solitary great performance and great win in what has been a really difficult season to watch. Like we sit here and we talk a lot about West Ham, and it doesn't get any easier, does it? Monday was at least a bit of fun, and we enjoyed it, and we saw like a performance that we could get excited about and just enjoy in the moment. It's the first time that we've been able to enjoy a West Ham performance, but every week this is just so difficult watching West Ham.
What it is, Jay, it feels like this is draining like it was last season, but for another reason. Last season was draining because of Moyes, and the Moyes in, Moyes out thing. and that was borderline fucking pain, right? This is draining for another reason. This is draining for a reason where I'm a bit concerned because we don't know what we're getting served up each from one week to the next. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These with Moyes, he had a game plan to a point, yeah. And whether you liked it, it's irrelevant. He had a game plan, he stuck to it, and it worked in some games, and it didn't work in others. I don't know what to expect on Tuesday night. I really don't. And I am Leicester are going to finish Roy in charge. Right, that place is going to be bouncing. The King Power will be fucking bouncing, 100%. Yeah, and we've got to go there, and we've got to try and win the game. Right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough. Right, to go there and win, especially when we're inconsistent at best. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? We're going to Leicester away, and we're going, Jesus Christ, this is going to be tough. Leicester, who have not been very good this season, who are newly promoted, have a championship level squad realistically, and will be fighting to stay in the Premier League this year. And we're going to the King Power and going, Christ, this is going to be tough, isn't it? Whereas we should be going to the King Power and going, right, this is how we beat them. But like that's the difference in mentality. That's the way that we have to look at these games now. So like at the same time, I wanted to look at, we talk about managers, right? I don't have any like faith in the owner that if we got rid of the manager, that he's going to select the right manager.
And that
he'd go cheap again. That's the issue.
And do you know what? Bang on, right? Where people keep saying this, it's going to get to Kim, Joe. I've had enough. I want him to lose. I can give a fuck less. Yeah. When will people learn? Yeah, that this is on the ownership, because the ownership have employed this fucking wanker in charge. Yeah. So we all get him out. We're not with Rafa Benitez or someone like that. Yeah, I mean, we've got the owner is the problem. We've got to put the pressure and the firm pressure, and I swear on my life to you, yeah, I've been saying this for the last 8 months. Yeah, when it was in the heat of the Moyes in, Moyes out. The owner is the problem. People say you can't get the owner out. You can fucking get that owner out, mate. Trust me. Yeah, if you all walked out after the first 10 minutes and said, I will fucking walk out this club every time until you are at the fucking door, he will keep walking out the door. You done protest, you'd walk out. He would have to do something. If you do him in the media, do him on the radio, do him on YouTube, eventually he will have to buckle because he will be a laughing stock. I'm saying this passionately because with me, yeah, I've always said Sullivan would always be the problem, and it's Sullivan's fault. This ain't really Lopetegui's fault.
Yeah.
Who's going to not accept a job at West Ham United Football, one of the vintage and heritage clubs in the Premier League, and develop some of the best players to go and win World Cups? Come on, right? Yous are not thick in the chat. Yeah, you're not mugs. And I'm definitely not a fucking mug. I'm a fat mug, but I'm not a mug, right? Even though I'm flogging mugs. But what I'm saying is this though, Jay, yeah? Sullivan is probably sitting there going, oh, what we're worried about? We're safe.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. Like he'll be so happy as long as he's getting that Premier League paycheck. He doesn't really care. Like realistically, he calls himself a fan of the club. Says that he's one of us and he loves the club as much as we do. Like it's a cash cow for him, mate. Like realistically, he's going to cash out soon, one day. In fact, I'll take that back. He probably won't, and hand it down to his idiot son.
I think he's waiting.
Yeah.
If you want me to be honest, I'll get to this comment quickly. Damien, thank you very much, mate. Fan base was hilarious this week. Not you, James, but the majority thinking we'd turned the corner. Fucking we turned the corner, mate. 4 goals in 30 minutes, small club mentality. And that's the difference, right? I want a winning mentality, not small club mentality. Honestly, what makes me laugh is last season the banners were coming out for Moyes and GSB, right? Where are the GSB banners now? Like, I'm gonna be straight. Where are they?
Yeah.
What are they in the cupboard now, waiting to come out? Fucking, in a month's time. GSB, right? And I'm gonna bring Gold into it, even though he's no longer with us. God bless him, yeah. But he was a part of the move, and his family has benefited from this. And you're looking at it yesterday, right? And I see it all over social media, and I know you probably see it, Jay, about Arsenal fans in the home end, right? That is when things need to start being looked at and saying, well, come on, what is this? Is this for the fan base of West Ham United, or is this just a tick box checklist to turn around and say, you know what, Yeah, we don't care who comes to watch West Ham. Yeah, as long as we get someone's arse on that seat and we get paid for it, then so be it. That's on the owner of the club. Do you know what I mean? I am getting sick to death with keep preaching this. Yeah, I'm getting tired of it to a point. Yeah, I have not gone over there in 8-9 years for a reason. Yeah, and my reasons are very, very strong in the way he conducted that move. Yeah, and it proves it right now that when you hire Julian Lopetegui, you're hiring cheap. You hired someone who's free and available, and you haven't got no ambition at all. What you just said previous, Jay, about him handing it down to his son, that's a possibility. But I don't know why. I've got a feeling he's waiting. He's waiting for the stadium. Once he gets his hands on that stadium, then he will flog his share, because his share will be massive then. Do you know what I mean? And listen, he's all for the pound note. And one thing I'm going to say, and I'm going a bit of a rant because I couldn't let it all go last night, but now I fucking can. I feel sorry for all them fans, including you, Jay, including you, who was in there yesterday having to watch that shit. 30 minutes, 4-0 down. This is not the West Ham, and this is not the West Ham that David Moyes, instilled the mentality of being a top 10 side. Listen, you might fucking hate Moyes, you might have a fucking dartboard with his fucking boat race on it. But what I'm going to say is this: he give us a standard, and the standards are what are the standards now? I don't know what the standards are, Jay, if I'm being honest.
We don't have one, do we? This is the thing. But it, like as you said, it comes from the top down. Like that stadium yesterday, right? There was Arsenal fans everywhere, like you could tell. And anyone who was at the game, I guarantee you spotted it. They're like rats. Like I guarantee you spotted one around the stadium at some point. And seeing someone get filled in the Bobby Moore lower was probably the best part of that first half, to be honest. But then the press like goes at us and says fights among West Ham fans. No. Someone, anyone who was in the Bobby Moore lower who actually heard what happened, do tell if you're in chat and saw it. But it comes from the top down, because exactly what you said. We sell the highest percentage of season tickets because it's guaranteed revenue. Which people then, it's your season ticket. If you can't make it or you don't go, you don't go. So that's why we have about 10,000 empty seats every week. It's why that stadium doesn't have any kind of atmosphere whatsoever. Yesterday wasn't except that first 10 minutes was actually really good. But there's so many problems coming from the way the stadium is run. Empty seats everywhere, crazy high prices, because away fans and tourists will pay those prices, which just kills the atmosphere even further. And it makes it a really difficult place to go, even to the point, little details, all the food that's outside the stadium, it's all soulless, like sold to one catering company now. It's all the same brand. All the independent local food outlets are no longer there from this season. There's a local pie and mash stand that was there. There was a local Indian naan roll thing, a loaded fries thing, and forget what the food is. It's local businesses that are coming to do their bit. Yeah, exactly. They're all gone. They're not there anymore. There's a massive Doritos thing. I don't want that. I want to go to the pie and mash stand because I know it's people who live around the corner. I know it's people that live and breathe the club and that are actually part of this community. I don't give a shit about any of the other stuff.
Do you know what? What you've just said there is exactly the reason why I won't go, because many years ago he sold a promise to a lot of the locals, and I know that for a fact. It even makes me fucking tear up even thinking about it. Yeah, because I know the people who it affected at the time. And for me, Sullivan is just fucking vermin, mate. Do you know what I mean? If I could do 25 years in Nick, I would do for that cunt. I really would, because, and I mean this with a good graces, because he sold out a lot of the locals. Yeah, he promised them fucking all the gold and give them fucking bronze. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, I'll be straight and honest. It's never going to be the same. Like West Ham in 2016 was the last time I felt that West Ham was West Ham. Yeah, as a community-based club, looking after each other. We look after our own. Yeah, Sullivan's not looking after anyone, right? He's turned that club into a franchise. Yeah, and all we are to that man is customers. And it proved it yesterday with the amount of away fans in the home end. Yeah, because basically there's people out there who can't afford to go. He's pricing them out. And it's basically first come, first serve, and whoever I can take for the highest amount of money that I can get, it is what it is. It's disgusting. And I don't want to make this all about Sullivan. I don't. But Sullivan's the man who's picked the manager. Yeah, this is not Lopetegui's shit. We all know he's shit, right? Let's be real. He's fucking shit. But the problem is Sullivan. I keep saying it and I'm saying it and saying it, and people are like, "Oh no, but we can't force the owner out." Well, how about everyone gets together and you fucking walk out of the ground when West Ham play and say, we ain't gonna watch this fucking shit until you're out the door, son. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can guarantee you will see who the customers are in that stadium after that. You most certainly will, because the hardcore would do it. If people turned around and said, you're gonna everyone's walking out on the 60th minute, yeah, in a protest against the ownership, right? You'd see who the customers are who are left.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's just fucking horrible, isn't it? And like I don't like to like moan about the stadium and moan about the match day experience, because I count myself lucky as being a season ticket holder. Like I'd grown up always wanting to be a season ticket holder. I either didn't have the money. I used to work every Saturday, every Sunday, so it was pointless. I used to never even be able to watch a game, really. I'd catch it on Match of the Day and that would be it, because I'd be busy all the time. And I got to a stage in life where I'm like 15 minutes away from Stratford on the DLR. I go every week because I love the club. I love what the club means the world to me. We all do. Everyone in chat, you, me, Lucas, wherever you are. If you are sitting here watching this, you're going to games, you're watching games, like you know what this club means to us. Yeah. But it's just, and I feel guilty when I find it like not enjoyable. I feel guilty because I'm in such a lucky position where I get to go and see West Ham like every other week in person. There's some people that don't get the chance to. People in chat who I know Colin like used to go. Shout out to Colin, and is now a carer and doesn't get a chance to go to games. So I feel guilty when I go to games and I stop enjoying it. But I can forgive the bad performances under Moyes. I could forgive the crap football that we were watching because we had standards. I felt represented. I felt like the team was still a West Ham team that I could affiliate.
You felt proud of the team.
I felt proud, yeah, and I felt proud that I was going to West Ham every week. I don't feel proud of anything at the moment. The soulless stadium, the soulless experience, the soulless performances. That give me something to keep enjoying going. I go because I like the routine and because, like I say, I count myself super lucky to be in a position where I can go every week. But give me something in return. I spend a lot of money on that club. I spend a lot of my time on that club. We all our weekends, our weeks. Our happiness will revolve around how West Ham do. And if they don't play well, at least as long as I have a nice day out of the football, I'll enjoy it. But none of it is ticking the boxes for me at the moment. And it's really frustrating that I feel so disappointed as a fan. I feel disappointed in myself for being disappointed. It's really weird. I don't know if anyone else understands what I'm trying to explain.
I understand what you're saying, because I've seen it through doing the YouTube game. Like, we're going to wrap this up in 5 minutes, but I'm just going to say this. I've seen it when I'm speaking to people like Sir Daddy or Adam or someone else who's come on the channel. Danny, for instance. Shout out to Danny out in the US of A, London-based lad, but lives out in the US of A, who can't go to a game every week. But it's not that they're any less of a fan. Do you know what I mean? Because they live in a different country, right? They care about the club as much as you do, who live 15 minutes away, and me, who live 25 minutes away. Do you know what I'm saying? The problem is that when people say about getting the manager out, I'm all for it because I do agree with them on that. But the problem is, it's the owner. The owner's the one where you got to look at this and you've got to put the pressure firmly on him. He's took the piss out of the fans for years. And I'll never forget this, right? When someone said this to me, and I used to have arguments with people saying, "Oh, look at the stadium. You're living in the past and all that." And my words to them was, he will affect your pocket eventually. He will come full circle. Because these people, no disrespect to anyone who's not from the fucking ends. Yeah, now when I say the ends, like East London and sort of like surrounding areas. But when you've lived it, breathed it, and you've seen the community die, that to me is very, very hard to accept. Right? It's very hard to accept. And there has to be a community element to it. Do you know what I'm saying? 100%. And there isn't. There isn't one really. It's just like a franchise that people go, if they want to go and watch a game of football, they can fly in at City Airport and that's it. But it's a shame. It's a shame. On Tuesday night, I'm going to say this to round this up. It's win or bust for me. Like, if he wants to, what is this? Save his job every other fucking game, is it there? Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to see something. We need to see not just a win, but a fucking performance to be proud of to a point. And this is nothing. Like, Arsenal, Jay, I know I'm ranting on this one, but I know Arsenal are a good side, but I feel like people are downplaying what we are. Do you know what I'm saying? People are saying like we're shit. Like we're shit under his manager, but we're not shit. Like we ain't got shit players, have we? Let's be honest.
God, really, you look at that team on paper. Like, granted, we know we've got 34-year-old Mikel Antonio, and I feel for him that he's having to lead the line. We signed a striker, he's injured, whatever. But still, you look at that team on paper, that is full of top quality players, and we just can't get a tune out of them. Anytime it matters, we just can't get a tune out of them. It's baffling to me, mate. Absolutely baffling.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Jay, thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. This has been a bit of a rant one, but I'm going to be honest. I feel for everyone today. Yeah, I was in that pub last night. I was surrounded by fucking tons of Arsenal fans, and I would give it to me. I plonked up in the corner, recording, and I know a few of them. Yeah, and they were giving it backwards and forwards, banter and all that. And you know, it's to hold 5 against them is very, very hard. Yeah, at the best of times. But to hold 4 in the first 30 minutes, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's unacceptable. Yeah, to be peppered and done, and I mean, whether they're penalties or not, like Saka shouldn't be running in the box. He should be shut down before he gets to the box. And Fabianski, if you're going to punch him in the face, can you make sure you punch him properly so he's knocked out clean next time? You know what I mean? Because everyone hates Gabriel. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to go and enjoy it. Super Sunday, Liverpool, Man City. It's going to be fun, and we'll be back tomorrow night for a preview.
God, they come thick and fast when you're playing badly, didn't they? Christ.
I know, mate. We've got a preview tomorrow night. And listen, will Mo come straight back in or not? Who knows? But Damien, thank you very much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. And there's one thing left to say. We are shot, and and it's good night. Bye-bye.